Kelly, and this is Kelly Hill Yoga, and today we are going to build lean and strong legs in this 30-minute sequence. So when you are ready, come to lay on your mat. We'll start in savasana just to bring our focus to today's practice. So to lay on your back, you're more than welcome to have the knees bent in this constructive rest pose with the knees resting on each other, or extended out in front of you for shavasana. Just find a comfortable place for your hands, whether that's on your belly, one over your heart. Lots of different options here. This is your practice. And let's just start to focus on the breath. Don't overthink it. We'll keep it really simple and strong today. Just to spend the next 30 minutes with you and yourself moving on the mat. So I try and keep these practices a little bit shorter than when you may be in a studio space, because I do know that when you're at home, sometimes having that full hour to dedicate to a practice without any distractions can be a little bit difficult and cause some undue stress, which we try to avoid. The whole point of this practice is to de-stress, build energy, find some time with yourself. So let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Really expand and fill your lungs. Gently exhale. Go ahead and repeat a few times, just in your own pacing, your own awareness. Start to turn everything else off that's happening outside your space. Turn everything on that's happening within your body. Really connect with yourself. And doing so through the breath. On this last deep inhale through the nose, let's reach the arms up and overhead, making our body nice and long. As long as you can make it. Exhale, bring the knees into the chest. And in this practice today, you will need a block. So my apologies for not mentioning it at the beginning. If you can quickly grab that block, or hopefully you have it handy. We're just grabbing the knees and the chest, kind of gently rocking side to side. Waking up the hip joints a little. Let's put the hands on top of the knees and just create some circles. Just getting the hips nice and warm, which are very interconnected, obviously, to the legs. Beautiful. Switch directions. Just kind of play around. See how your hips are feeling today. If you're a little tight, maybe bring your legs nice and wide. Just, like I said, remaining connected with yourself. Finding what feels good. Awesome. And now let's extend the left leg in front of you and bring that right heel up to heaven as we get a nice hamstring stretch on the right leg, waking things up with a little bit of gentle stretching before we get into some more strong dynamic movement in this awesome 30-minute sequence for our lean, strong legs. Beautiful. Roll that foot, point and flex. Start to wake everything up in the legs. Awesome. And then let's switch sides. So re-extend that right leg. Bring the left foot up to heaven. So nice hamstring stretch on this left leg. Once again, play around with maybe some ankle rolls and point and flex the foot. And you're just gently guiding your leg towards your head. Not overstretching right now. And if it is a little bit too intense in your right front of your right hip flexor, just gently bring that right foot to the mat. But like I said, this is the beginning of our practice, just waking things up. It's okay to be stiff, especially if this is your first bit of movement. And then let's bring that left foot down, and we'll set up for bridge pose, and this is where we will need our block. So I'll give you just a moment if you need to go and grab it. We're going to take our block and put it in between the thighs, long ways like this, so the shortest heights. So we're going to have the block here in between the legs. And when you're ready and you have your block, we're going to just squeeze that block with our thighs, set up for bridge pose, so feet about hip width apart, nice and strong. Let's just gently curl that tailbone up towards your nose, activating the core. Notice how when you curl it slightly up, that belly button starts to pull in towards the spine. Continue that curl as you drive the hips up into bridge, really squeezing that block, keeping it between the legs. Gently lower back down. And just let's repeat this, slowly rolling one vertebrae up at a time, squeezing at the top. Exhale, slowly lower down. You might find a little bit more height each time. Or if you're just keeping it the same each round, that's okay too. We're just waking the legs up, the posterior chain, which is the low back, glutes, hamstrings. Awesome. Squeezing at the top. Keep going, working up some strength. If you don't have a block, you're more than welcome to use a blanket, a pillow, just anything where you can actively squeeze your thighs together to hold it in place. Sometimes a ball works as well if you have a smaller exercise ball. Beautiful. Gently lower back down. Last one, bringing it up top, and this time we're going to hold it here at the top. So find a strong and stable posture. Gently tuck that chin so we're not crunching in the neck at all. Hands are gently resting at our sides. Really thinking about keeping that block in place. Remember to breathe through this posture, really drive through the feet, staying strong, squeezing everything to your midline, really feeling that block. Awesome. Stay for the inhale. Exhale, gently lower down, one vertebrae at a time. And that tailbone should be the last thing to disengage. So you'll feel it uncurl, the opposite of what we did at the beginning. Awesome. Now we're going to keep that block just how it is. And now we're going to lift the legs up, heels to heaven, really squeezing that block to the midline. Awesome. Keep squeezing. If you want to bring the block in to a little bit smaller, you're more than welcome to. If you do that, it will activate your core a little bit more with a little bit more narrow of a block. Staying really strong, driving those heels. Try and straighten the legs out as much as you can. Slight bend of the knee is totally okay. Pulling that belly button to your spine, squeezing the block. Staying strong, holding this posture. Really pull the belly button towards the earth. Keep everything engaged. Driving those heels up to heaven. Squeezing everything to midline. Still holding, still staying strong. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently deactivate. Bring everything back down. Let's place the block off to the side and bring the knees into the chest. Hug it out. Gently rock from side to side. Beautiful. And now let's slowly come up to tabletop, however you wish to get there. rocking up or rolling to one side, does not matter. So we will come to tabletop, head over, or head and tailbone nice and long. So thinking about pulling the two apart, just imagining you're doing so to create really long spine. Hands under your shoulders, knees under hips. Let's roll through a few rounds of cat-cow. Just wake up the spine. So inhale, bring the chin forward. Drop the belly, cow pose. Exhale, pull the belly button in, round through the spine, tuck the chin, cow or cat. Inhale, back to cow. Exhale, tuck that chin, roll through the spine. Inhale, back to cow. And now on your own, just roll through a few rounds of this, just however you feel like you need this. Notice any tightness anywhere. If you feel a little bit of tightness in your hips, maybe shift them from side to side. This is the opportunity in your practice to work out any little bits of kinks, kind of create your own little bits of movement. You get to be creative here. There is no right or wrong way to do this, to wake yourself up, maybe rolling through the shoulders, rolling through the hips, just whatever you need to do. Get that spine loose. Awesome. When you're ready, come back to that natural or neutral tabletop. Head and tailbone gently pulling away from each other. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And let's bring the right leg behind us, really extending. Imagine that you are trying to get those toes to turn to the left or turn to the opposite. Have them nice and pointed down so that femur is rotated in the hip. So you're rotating it inward. Toes nice and pointed down, really squeezing. And then we'll bend that right knee. And now take your heel and drive it up to heaven. We're going to do this for a 5 count. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently bring that right knee back down. Take it to the other side. So extend the left leg behind us, really turning those toes towards the right so that femur is really nice and rotated in our hip joint. Now we bend the knee. This is to ensure that we're really driving correctly in this position. So staying strong, don't let that belly drop. Keep that belly button pulled in. And drive that left heel to heaven, or drive it up to the sky or your space for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently bring it back down. Shift the hips back. Child's pose, just for a brief moment. Do kind of counterbalance those heel drives. Awesome. Take one deep round of breath here before we drive up into downward dog. Set your intention. Be as present as possible as you can in this practice. Remembering that mind-body connection we started at the beginning. You may stay here, or if you're ready, you can shift and transition up into our first downward dog of the practice. Hanging out here, pulling our hips up and back. If your heels aren't quite ready to extend to the ground, nice generous bend in the knees. Really thinking about having that spine nice and long. Walk it out a little, bending in one knee, straightening in the other. Just like we did in cat-cow, maybe find a little bit of movement somewhere. All right. We start to move into the beautiful part of our practice where we start to get a bit more movement. Let's take a nice deep inhale, gently bend both knees, take your gaze forward, exhale, step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Awesome. Hanging out in this forward fold. Maybe rock side to side. Let the arms be heavy. Be creative here. Find a little bit of movement. See how your legs are feeling. Now let's drive through the feet in order to slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time, to our Tadasana, our beautiful mountain pose. Slowly roll those shoulders back, palms face forward, really reach down towards the earth. And now we're going to just take a moment to check in. Let's wiggle the toes to make sure we're nice and squared on all four corners of the feet. Feet are about hip-width apart. And let's reimagine that block is back in between our thighs, squeezing them, activating. You notice when you do so, you should find a little bit more height in your spine as we squeeze and find height. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins, crown of the head pulled forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, arms up and overhead. Awesome. One more time. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Building up some energy. This time, when we rise up, we'll rise up to chair pose. So nice and strong in the legs in this chair pose. Really sit back. Keep our core strong, nice long through the spine. In this chair pose. Beautiful. Staying here. Let's bring the hands to the heart, nice and strong. Start to transition your weight to the right leg as we step back with the left into this high lunge or crescent. So nice and strong here. Hands at our heart. Beautiful. Inhale, arms go up and overhead. Finding strength. Really think about driving that back heel or your left heel towards the back of your space to elongate that leg. If you need to adjust the feet a little after you step back, it's totally okay. There's no right or wrong way. Awesome. Now we're going to get into just a little bit of movement. So we will shift forward, almost like we're resting the belly on the thigh. And then we'll inhale to rise. Exhale, reach the arms back. Shift forward. Inhale to rise. So the only movement here will be in your torso. You're keeping your foundation or your legs nice and strong and stable. You should feel this right leg really start to activate and maybe even shake a little, which is totally okay. Last one, reach the arms back. And inhale, arms up to rise. Awesome. Staying strong in this crescent. Now we're going to lower the back knee. So gently lower it down, hover it just above the mat, drive back up. Lower it down, drive back up. Beautiful. And 3, 2, 1. Awesome. That right leg should be on fire. Back to crescent. Lower both those arms down. Runner's lunge. Step back to plank. Vinyasa of your choosing. Or just meet in downward dog if that's what you wish to do. Awesome. Nice deep breath in this down dog. Exhale, release some of that energy we just built up. Inhale, bend the knees, take the gaze forward. Step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Running it through on the other side now. So in this forward fold, inhale, halfway lift. Crown of the head pulled forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise, arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms to your heart space. Let's just take one moment here. Bring our energy in. Feel all that power we're building. Beautiful things that are happening within us right now, within this practice. Don't throw anything at the screen. If you are tired right now, it's just your body doing amazing things. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. This next inhale, we will rise up to chair pose. Super strong. Notice a difference now in this second chair pose. You may be feeling a little bit more fatigued. Do you feel stronger? Still present in this practice. Keep all that negative talk away. You are able. You are strong. Beautiful. Start to transition the weight to the left leg as we step back with the right. High lunge or crescent. Arms up and overhead. Reposition the feet if you need to. A good way to be strong and stable in this is to take the feet a little bit wider. So think railroad tracks in this crescent or high lunge. Driving that right heel towards the back of your space. Deep inhale to reach the arms up. Long torso. Exhale, fold at the waist. Leaning forward, reaching the arms back. Inhale to rise. Exhale, fold forward. And like I mentioned, as we repeat this, we'll do it for 5 rounds. As we do this, we're keeping our legs as strong and static as possible. It's okay to shake or waver a little bit, but just keeping them strong. The only movement should be from the torso as we lean forward and then rise back up. I think this is the last one, so we will make it the last one. Awesome. Back up. Let's transition into those knee lowering down. So lower your right knee down. Gently rise back up. Lower and rise. Just letting it hover just above the mat. Not letting it drop or fall. Beautiful. Staying strong. That left leg should be screaming. Awesome. Last one. Lower down. Drive to come back up. Beautiful. Inhale, strong. Exhale, bring the hands down to that runner's lunge. Step back to plank. You may do a vinyasa of your choosing or go through your flow. And we will all meet in downward dog or skip the vinyasa altogether. It's your practice, your choice. Beautiful. Last little bit of time in this downward dog. Inhale to really shift those hips up and back. Exhale. Release. We did a beautiful job. We're going to start to head downstream now. And let's gently bring both knees down to the mat and then come onto our bellies. Slowly lower yourself down. And we are going to take our arms and have them at about 45 degrees. You can turn your head either which way. I'm just going to try and keep my head lifted just so you can hear me okay with my microphone. Having the arms kind of at 45 degrees. Very similar to what we did when we were in tabletop. Bend that right leg about 90 degrees with the leg and drive that heel to heaven 5 times. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Gently lower it back down. Take it to the other side. So bend that left leg about 90 degrees. And then we will drive that left heel to heaven again or up to your top of your space. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Gently bring it down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Shift the hips up and back. Child's pose. We will hang out here for just one good round of breath. Take a nice deep inhale. Breathe all the way down the spine into the low back. Feel it expand. Exhale. Feel all that gorgeous heat and energy release out. Notice the shift within you. As you do so, you release some of that built up energy, power within you. Just release some of that out so we can start to head downstream, guiding yourself with the breath. Awesome. You can go ahead and stay in child's pose as long as you want, or if you're ready, rise back up to a gentle seated position. Just get a quick, I don't say quick, but a mindful hamstring stretch on either side. So we will have the left leg tucked in. Right leg's going to extend out to the side. Just a gentle stretch because we did just spend a lot of time warming the legs up. So we don't want to overextend when they're nice and warm. It can be it's a little bit more mindful to, I don't want to say dangerous. It's just more mindful. We want to kind of think about our muscles being super warm. So we may be pushing ourselves past a limit than we're not normally used to. So let's just take everything over to that right leg, not shifting and facing it this time. Just nice stretch. So we get a beautiful stretch on this left side body, reaching over with the right arm. Awesome. Three good rounds of breath here. Just gently come back up and switch sides. So gently bring this right leg in, extend the left leg out, keeping our hips and chest facing forward. Then we reach over with the left hand. Get a nice, awesome stretch. Reaching for that left foot, shin, thigh, just wherever your body wants to take you today. Awesome. Gently come back up to center. Slowly, we'll bring the legs in. And let's just let our knees fall from side to side. One last little bit of love to the hips. Awesome. Now we will slowly come down onto our back. And we will finish this practice just how we started. So both legs extended out in front of us. Set up for Shavasana. Gently tuck the shoulders. Start to become aware of your breath once again. If you were starting to lose awareness. Let's spend a couple of thoughts or a few moments of energy. Explore the legs right now. How do they feel now at this end of your practice as opposed to the beginning? Are you holding tension anywhere? If you are, release it. Let those feet fall to the side. Keep the breath simple and gentle. Relax your shoulders. Know that it's okay if your heart is still beating quite fast, if your breath is still working at bringing that oxygen in, expelling all that carbon dioxide out. And if it is still making this exchange, that heart pumping fast, know that it's okay. Just almost ride that wave of energy, embrace it. Don't let it stress you. Acknowledge it. Be aware of it. And as you do so, And you do it in a positive manner. You may notice your body relax as you acknowledge that beautiful chaos happening. Your mind, your breath will start to slow down. The exchange of inhale and exhale becomes more controlled, elongated. Your heart begins to slow as you feel the lingering vibrations and energy you created. Be as present as possible, just listening and exploring everything that happened within before you start to re-emerge and re-expand to everything happening outside this space. And this is where I will leave you. You're more than welcome to stay in the Shavasana as long as you'd like. I wish you the best of day. And before you do leave your practice, please just show some beautiful grace and gratitude to be as present as possible before you re-emerge. As always, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button to Kelly Hill Yoga. Comments are always loved and appreciated. I'll see you next round. Thank you. I love you.